Welcome guys to YouTube. My name is Jonathan Gokenauer and I'm back here again with another profile. I'm going ahead and put this up on House of Champs site and to see if I can get any views and see if people want to play the deck more often. This is a pure Invoked deck profile that I got second place at the ARG in Charlotte, North Carolina, that just this past Saturday and Sunday. It was the weekend of the 24th and 5th, I believe. So let's get started with the deck profile. We've got 3 Alistairs. Okay. We got 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Veiler, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Gamma, and the 1 driver that you got to play with the Gamma. I chose to play only 2 Eater of Millions because it conflicts so much with Scapegoat that I play a 3 of. So you either play 3 of this and 2 Scapegoat, or 2 Scapegoat, 3 of this. That's my opinion. I think you should always just do 3 Scapegoat anyways. If you want to play 3 of this, then go ahead. But with ratios I have, you can't play like you don't want to play more than 40. Some people vouch for 41. Sometimes I vouch for 41. Just to get that extra card in there, But it did really fine. I saw it enough. I saw it exactly when I needed to get my games that I needed to win. So there's 12 hand traps in the main, and then driver at 3 Alistairs and 2 Eater of Millions. No Blue Boy, but I do play the Spellbook engine still. So I still play the 1 Spellbook of Secrets. Some people play 2, but I didn't have any room to play other stuff for going second, so I cut, since I didn't play Blue Boy, I also just cut this down to 1. So I'm playing this, and then of course 2 Knowledge. So we'll have 1 Secrets, 1 Regeki, 1 Monster Reborn because they're only at 1, and then of course the 2 Knowledge, 2 Desires, and then 3 Mind Control because you're going second, and this card is just beast. It's good for baiting out negations. So you can get your plays going, or if they don't have a negation, then just take their monster, link with it, do what you want. This card is phenomenal. 3 Scapegoat. This card works wonders in this deck. I won a lot of my games specifically because of Eater Millions and this card. So I recommend playing 3 Scapegoat always, until we get the new Link monster, the Alistair Link monster. I'm not sure if we still play 3 of this because you want to play more Invoked Fusions at that point, but until that time comes, 3 Scapegoat, that's the way to go. 3 Invocation. Gotta play 3 if you're playing Desires. Not only just because you don't like. So if you play Desires, you worry about banishing 1 or 2. It's not just for that reason. Just hard opening this is very good. Because a lot of times your opponent is gonna have Ash or Veiler or something. There's a lot of people blaming hand traps for pendulums and stuff, and those hand traps hurt you too. The only one that doesn't is Ogre. So when your Alistair gets Ashed or Veilered and you have this still, then they go neg 1, and you can still go with your fusion plays. And then if you didn't have a light, now you have a light or a fire fused with their card, you're in good shape. So 3 Invocation, very nice to have. I hard drew this many of times in the tournament. 3 Terraforming. And 3 Meltdown, of course. So it's I believe it's 22 spells and 18 monsters, but let me check real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 20. Yeah, 22 spells. I was right, yeah. So 22 spells and 18 monsters. That is the main deck profile. So we move on to the extra, that's the side deck, sorry. The extra deck first. So we got 2 Mekaba, Invoked Mekaba. There was only one time I won at 3, and that was in the last round. When we got into the grind game, and I ran out of fusions, basically. So, probably in the future, I'll play 3 of this. I just don't know what to cut just yet, but definitely going to play 3 of this probably in the future. 2 Purgatrio. 2 came up only a few times, but because you're not playing other fusions, this gives you another fusion target. Besides, Ash is normally live. Everyone's playing Ash, and this is always live versus Pendulum, whether Ash is used or not, because they always send their Electromite to grave. And of course, you have the Metal Foe build being popped around in other places, so they're all fire too. Of course, Infernoids are also fire. Banish them is very good. So 2 Purgatrio is good. 1 Elysium came up once. Could have made it other times, but it didn't need to. But it came up once in the last round, and I misplayed it. So, this card could have won me the game. You never know. But it was my fault. So, I think we still need to play this. 1 Omega was going to make it like one time, but misplaced stuff. I was gonna use like Ash and Fuse, or not Fuse, Synchro with my opponent's Stargazer, but instead I tried something else and misplayed. But anyways, you need to have it because you're playing Gammas, in case you have it for your turn. So it's just good to have this card like you want to play it. If it's like a card in, it's also a card you can just banish off Eater of Millions at some point. So you can take this out for Claire and Rishka if you prefer, or another Invoked Fusion. But I because you can always use the Cyframe gear pieces on your field if you make it on your turn for Link monsters. But I like this card. I'll probably keep it at 1 still. 1 Link Haribo, made it a lot. 1 Link Spider, made it a lot. 1 Ib the World Chalice Priestess, made it a lot with the Ningirsu Ib play. This is also a Spellbook of Knowledge target, by the way, if it ever comes up, just so you know. Proxy Dragon came up a lot. Underclock Taker, made a lot. Mrs. Radiant never made it, but good to have because it's scapegoat tokens. Good for maybe OT Kane with this Link Spider and whatever else you have. Also good arrows. But most of the time I was banished off Eater Millions, so it's there. It's good. Had to have. Warlord never made it, but you have to play it because it's outs to many cards that you may not be able to get over. So Deco Talker made it once for an OTK with him and 2 Mechaba. Ningirsu made it a lot. MVP Link monster of the deck, definitely. Ningirsu outs anything you needed to, except for maybe a masterpiece unaffected by monster effects. But going first, and you have to if you go against that, it's you might not even get this out anyway because masterpiece destroys things. So luckily, I did not play any pure Demise Draco builds. So, side deck, we got 2 Gamma Seal, 1 Zombie World. This is for the Draco matchup. This is also pretty good versus dinosaurs and stuff too. If you because they can't play the pill unless it's a dinosaur in hand. Because everything in grave becomes zombie. I never got to play any dinos, but it's I think it's good in theory to try out, maybe deciding against a pure dino build. 3 Cyclones. The only time I ever sided in 3 was when I wasn't sure they were going to make me go first or second, and because this is good going first or second, so it's fine to have. 3 Barrier for going first against Pendulum, 3 Anti-Spell for going first against Pendulum. All 6 of these are also good for the mirror, and then of course 3 Evenly Matched. This definitely won me one of my games in the top. It was my top 8 match against Nishad. He ran right into this. I think he knew I had it after he attacked. But he quickly tried to go to main phase 2, and I'm like, nah, in the battle phase evenly, and I hit I think 6 or 7 of his cards. It was atrocious. I basically took advantage after that and won that match against him. So that's it for the side deck. 15 side, 15 extra, 40 main. As far as my matchups went, I played round 1. I played a Demise Draco, or sorry, Demise ABC Invoked, and I don't even really want to go into the matchup. I 2-0'd him, it's fine. And then round 2, I played Spiral, 2-0'd him, and round 3, I played Mech Knight Invoked. I 2-0'd him. Round 4, I got my first loss against my friend playing the exact same deck as me, who also goes to my locals. He 2-1 me. The difference was he saw Scapegoat and I did not. So, Scapegoat's a big advantage in this deck. Round 5, I just don't remember. I don't remember what I played round 5. Round 6, I played ABC. It was like Calvin DeHaan's friend. They were playing the exact same deck, and I 2-1'd him. Round 7, I played Pendulum Magician FTK by Blair Hunter, and he got me like game 1 because it was the first game the entire tournament I didn't see at least one hand trap in hand, so he FTK'd me. Game 2, I went first, had anti-spell, he couldn't out it. Game 3, he started, tried to do the FTK, and I had I think I had 3 hand traps for him. I had Valor, Ash, and an Ogre, so, and then of course I drew an Alistair for turn, and he didn't have much at that point. So I ended up it got to the point to where he had Titanic Galaxy and Link Kariba on the board, and apparently it was ruled at this event, and he informed me it was ruled at the YCS as well, that Titanic Galaxy can negate Meltdown. I mean, not Meltdown, Invocation while Meltdown is on board, because it says it negates the effect, and Meltdown says negate the stop things from negating the activation, and cards that have the effect of including the fusion summoning. And so the way the head judge made that sound to me was he said that's for cards that are already face up on field that have the effect of fusion summoning. That means you can't negate those. But a card that you just activate straight from hand, it only includes your opponent not being able to negate the activation of that card. So that's the way the head judge ruled it at that event. The judge ruled in my favor, but he appealed to the head judge, and the head judge ruled in his favor. Next turn, I drew the Eater of Millions to out his Titanic Galaxy, and the following, I drew an Alistair and proceeded to win at that point because he kept dead drawing cards that did not further his place after that because resources were used. It was a pretty big grind game. We were in turns. I got to his last turn where he had to do at least 3,000 or so damage to me, plus out my Invoked monster and then the Eater of Millions. So he couldn't do it, and I ended up winning that one. Last round 8, it was against Calvin DeHaan in his ABCs. I 2-1'd him. Round 1, I let him go first, and he does ABC things, but I think he ended up doing a Desires and banished all of his pieces, but one. I think he didn't banish all of his pieces, but he banished. He was only able to keep one of I think it was C. So after he made his first Buster, and then I banished a piece from grave, at some point during the match, he scooped, so because he couldn't make any more Busters. So and then game 2 he won. I don't remember how much other than he overpowered me. Game 3. I think I went first. Yeah, I think I went first, and I would put in anti-spells, cosmics, and a couple other things. It was a pretty good grind game though, but I think in the end I was able to take it. I don't remember too much about the match at the moment, but and Calvin's a good player. He's the only the best ABC player I think in the U.S. He's one of the people that can pilot that deck any format, I think. Good sport too, really good guy. So after the 8 rounds of Swiss, I finished second. I was the only X1. Everyone else was X1-1 or and then Froggy was he was undefeated with Demise Draco, and then he lost into top 16 the next day, unfortunately. But day 2, I played the same guy round 1 as I played round 1 in Swiss. He made top 16, and I beat him again. Funny thing is, he tried to Solemn Warning my Invocation when the day before he tried to use Solemn Judgment, and it fizzled. So he got punished twice, and then he tried to Rule Shark me the following turn. It was it was oh my gosh. He said I didn't offer my deck for him to cut after I shuffled an Invocation back in from grave. And I told him I was for certain that I did, but the judge could not confirm. But the judge could confirm what card I drew on my turn. So because he was watching, so he told me just shuffle that card back. It was repairable game state, and we went from there. So some people become jerks when they're trying to win money, they make enemies. I liked him up until that point, but no more after that. But I ended up beating him 2-0 again, and then the next round was with Nishad. He beat Blair previously in the previous round, so now I went against Nishad. Game 1, he went up nuts. Even with my ogre, so like he destroyed me. He had like Vortex, Masterpiece, and I think Electromite. And that was through an ogre. So game 2, I went first, and I don't remember too much. I think I opened up just like some floodgates, like D-Barrier, maybe Anti-Spell. Oh yeah, for sure I opened Anti-Spell, definitely. And if he like just couldn't get over it. So like that one didn't last long. Game 3, he went first, but I had like multiple hand traps for him, so his board didn't end. Oh no, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a different match. Game 3, I thought I was going second, but he made me go first. So like I have cards for him for going second. He makes me go first, and I'm like, oh well, crap. So like I set an scapegoat and pass. And so he goes, does his turn. He summons like 4 monsters. I think it's like Electromite and a couple Metal Foes and maybe Astrograph. But it was like 4 monsters exactly. And he goes, well, battle phase. I'm like, okay. He goes, attack with them like I'm like, how much damage is that? He goes, it's 8100 if it goes through. I'm like, oh boy. So I'm thinking in my mind, if I should just let 3 attacks go through and then flip Scapegoat on end phase to have at least 3 tokens for my turn, or I knew he's gonna be able to make Masterpiece and all that stuff again, so I don't really know if that would have been enough. So I guess I took the risk of just flipping it on his first attack, and because I talked about life points only, I think maybe he believed that I was just desperate of trying to stop attacks to save my life points. So when I flipped Scapegoat, he goes, okay, well, attack all the tokens, and then he goes like main phase 2, and I'm like, wait, hang on, in the battle phase, evenly matched, and he's like, oh my gosh, I just played into that. Like I think he realized after he attacked the tokens, so he quickly tried to go to main phase 2, but I was like, nah, bro, man, we got evenly matched here. So I hit him for like 7 or 8 cards off his board, and I proceeded to just take advantage after that point because he lost so much resources. So, there was that against Nishad, and then round 3 of day 2 was against Omar Besicio or something. I don't remember how to pronounce his last name, but he was playing Pendulum Magician, not the FTK build. And game 1, game 1 I won, game 2 he won, and game 3 I had Anti-Spell, and he was just like, oh no, he was probably the best sport I played all in the entire tournament. He had fun the entire time against me, and we were just joking about everything. And then game 3, he literally showed me his hand, and his set cards were he didn't tell me what they were, but he flipped part of the card, he covered this and showed me that every card in his hand was pendulums, and then the cards he set were all spells. And I'm like, oh man, dude, I'm sorry. And so I ended up OTK'ing the following turn. Poor guy, but great guy, great person, great sense of humor. Round 4, finals, I played Junior Dorson. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, man. And game 1 I misplayed with knowledge and stuff. I don't really want to get into it. Game 2 I won. By the way, all these games I didn't see any scapegoats or anti-spells or anything. Game 3, he beat me. He had I had no end traps for the second time of the entire tournament, so he had Vortex, Norito, and Trap. So first time I ran into the Pendulum player using the Trap again. I haven't seen anyone using that recently, because everyone's going for that FTK build. But if he didn't have Trap, I actually definitely had him. It was that was the last card he needed to get. I had the OTK with my Purgatrio if he didn't have Trap. So that was I lost that game. And then the next game, I went first, but didn't open up any going for his cards. I had to keep ashing his chronograph to stop him from doing plays, but I just couldn't get Alistair in time to do anything. And then I misplayed with I took his Stargazer Magician with Mind Control, and I tried to Spellbook of Knowledge, and it never come up to me before, and I should have known this though anyways. But I tried to knowledge the Stargazer that I took to try to draw 2. So the Stargazer still goes to his extra deck, but I don't draw 2 because it didn't go to grave. So that I should have. My initial plan was to normal summon Ash and to make Omega because he had 1 card in hand. So I should have done that. And then, but I got when I drew my knowledge for turn, I it's oh man, I can just plus, but I like effed myself, so I ended up like losing that grind game. Even like with Elysium. Sorry, that was game one. I'm getting like mixed up. That the fourth game I like ended up like going, it was a really big grind game, and I ended up making Elysium, and I thought I was in good shape. He like brings out 2 4s, and I'm like, I guess like I have the out to Baguska. I don't care if he makes it, and he makes Baguska, and then I'm like, wait, no, I don't. Too late now. And then like he next turn he makes Borlo, takes my guy, and I can't like out everything even with Dingirsu. So like I lose round game 4. My fault. Like I made some bad, like I made more mistakes against him than I did the entire tournament. So overall, good guy though. Second place at my first ARG. Not my first ARG. My first second place. First time as a second place. First time finishing under 5th place at an ARG event or any event for that matter. My last best was like. My last best was like 5th place at the ARG Invitational in August last year. But anyways, here's the trophy for second place. It's really nice. It's silver. They gave me a ring and a pen, and then of course the mat, but I didn't get it out, so I just used my DBZ mat. Anyways, this is the deck profile for Pure Invoked. If you guys have any questions, comment, and I'll get back to you. Thanks.